Hi, I'm Dr. April Trainer, chiropractor and health advocate. Our mission at Health Enhance is to help people live longer, happier, and healthier lives. Welcome to our Healthy Living series, the knowledge, tool set, and inspiration to be as healthy as you want to be. Remember, the choices you make today will determine your health tomorrow. Choose a better you today. Now that we know the answers to health lie in lifestyle, for our cells, for my cells, and your cells, and my ancestors' cells, to express health, to be able to make that happen, we need to look to lifestyle. And this is when we talk about the genetics of health. So this is this is as scientific as it gets. And if we just tick these boxes, your body's going to do what it's supposed to do. So when we look at the major differences in lifestyle from today compared to the past, the most common answer that I get is we're more sedentary. So if you think about how our ancestors would have spent their day, our ancestors 10,000 years ago, with the same genes as me, would have spent 6 to 8 hours a day hunting and gathering. So they would have moved all day long. Now, with those movement patterns, one thing they wouldn't have done, and again, this is part of where we're developing our problems today, they wouldn't have spent 3 hours on the treadmill at lunch. That wouldn't have made biological sense for them to have to expend that much energy every day just to be healthy. So our ancestors, they would have walked a lot. And walking, and if you hate walking, don't walk. But what we do need to make sure, what we know, if I said to you, or if I tried to, and this is, and I really understand this, and this is where I think by looking at health this way, this is where people can be successful and sustain health. If I asked you to go and walk for 6 hours tomorrow, and that you needed to do that to be healthy, most people wouldn't be able to say yes to that, and I know I wouldn't be able to say yes to that. But what we know, where we know this comes in at being clinically significant, is 30 minutes. So when people start moving 30 minutes a day, and if you hate walking, don't walk. Do what you love, because it's your movement and it's your life and it's your free time, and it's your free time to be expressing health. All you change though in your life was you started walking 30 minutes a day, and this is amazing. Movement is like a nutrient for our brain. It is an essential nutrient for your body to express health. And as soon as you start moving, there's so many things that happen in your brain that switch it on so that your body can be pumping health messages out to the rest of your body. If all you change your life tomorrow was that you started walking for 30 minutes every day, it reduces, what the research shows us is it reduces cardiovascular disease by 75%. It reduces cancers and cancers by 65 to 75%, depending on the type of cancer, and it reduces Alzheimer's and dementia by 70%. That is medicine. That's the drugs we should be taking, is just movement. So there's certain types of movement patterns. So if there's one of the things I would suggest to you that should be your goal from this, is that you make sure you're ticking that box. And I would say most days I do move 30 minutes. There are days that I definitely move more than 30 minutes. And on those days I think I'm even more awesome. But if I just move 30 minutes, then I think on that day I'm awesome at my health. And there's days, as I said, where I might only be able to do 10. And on those days I take the opportunities that I can. Because 10 minutes is better than no minutes when we're talking about my body being able to express health. And when I start looking at movement as a nutrient for my body, and I know that's going to make me healthier, and it's going to make my family healthier, and it can be in such easy ways, that is, how can't we say yes to that? It's just incredibly motivating to take those 10 minutes or to make that half hour happen in whatever way possible. And the great thing about walking's free. All you don't need anything. You don't need a gym. You can literally walk out your door or your office, walk 15 minutes one way and walk 15 minutes back, and you can go, wow, I was awesome at my health today. Now, is there other movement patterns that we need? Yes, there is, and they can fit in very easily. So there's different types of movement patterns that are that we need for our genetic expression of health. So one is walking, which we've talked about. The second is our ancestors would have been very strong. They would have been muscular because they would have had to carry all the food back to base, back to their camp. They would have had to carry their homes on their backs, and they would have had to carry their children's in their arm. So as human beings, what we should expect, that any single point in our life, we should be able to pick up our kids or our grandkids and be strong enough to run to save their lives, because that's how we save our genetic material so that it can be passed on. Now today we don't have to do that, but we should be fit enough and strong enough that we can do that. It's a great measurement of our health. Attached to this segment is the genetically congruent movement patterns that your body needs to express health. And when you look at it this way, movement is so easy. So each of these movement patterns is equally important. So we've talked about the 30 minutes of moving every day in any shape, form you want. Some people will say to me, oh, I should go swimming because it's less impact and blah, but I don't like getting my hair wet and the water's cold and it wrecks my makeup. So again, no excuses. Just if you don't like swimming, don't do swimming. Just do what you can easily say yes to, because that's what you'll be able to do regularly. So the other important components of genetically congruent movement patterns, one is we move slowly, often. The second is every once in a while we would have to run fast, either to catch dinner or not be dinner. But we would run fast, not for long extended periods of time. So, and having said that, if you love to go and run on a treadmill and sweat your guts out for an hour, then go for your life and do that. But you don't need to do that to express health, okay? That just means you're even more awesome rather than just awesome, okay? So, how often we need to do that. Now, when we run fast like that, and running fast means that you're going fast enough that you can't talk, that it's hard enough to get breath that you can't talk. We need to do that for 6 minutes every 7 to 10 days. What that does for you is it sends nitric oxide into your blood, and it's our natural cholesterol fighter. It blasts cholesterol out of our arteries. Sometimes sure you've heard of marathon runners, that people that seem very fit and healthy, but they drop dead of a heart attack. And it's usually that they're not ticking this important box. Now, if you're at a stage in your health that you can't imagine going for a run yet, and lots of people when they come in, they are like that, that's okay. All you need to do is find a different way of doing it. I know there's office stairs you can walk up that will have your heart rate up very quickly, and you can just go up and down until you've done your 6 minutes. What I tend to do, I get on an exercise bike, I do 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. And in those 30 seconds, I go as hard as I can, I rest for 30 seconds, and I do that for 12 minutes. And that means I have ticked that box, and I know it's done. And if I do more than that, then that's a bonus. Excellent. So we want to make sure that you're doing that. The other thing is that we would be strong. So I call this in our movement sheet, I call it, we would make muscles. Now we would be physically fit and capable, as I said, to pick up our children and run. On that exercise sheet, there is a fantastic little exercise routine that you don't need any equipment for other than a chair, and that exercise routine will take you about 20 minutes. And that's what I do. Some people like to go into the gym and feel motivated by that, and if you do, then that's awesome. But that exercise routine is on the days when I have run out of minutes, or I'm at home with my daughter, and that's the way that part of my health is going to fit in. That exercise routine ticks all the major muscle groups our ancestors would have used every single day. But as I said, you don't have to use that. That's just if you need that as a guide, and that makes it easy for you to do. You want to do that. We want to be making muscles 2 to 3 times a week. And that's it in terms of movement. Now, one of the other things that I would like to talk about and stress, a lot of people will say, I'm always stretching my hamstrings. I'm always have tight muscles. And the reason you always have tight muscles is you're a modern day human being with 10,000-year-old genes living a modern day human being lifestyle. So if you're getting adjusted and we are correcting your spine is coming back to healthy alignment. When you're in healthy alignment, that's when your muscles can actually work the way they're designed to. And you start doing your 30 minutes of movement every day. On this exercise sheet, I have a section that is called, our ancestors would have moved in all different directions every day. And that is the only stretching routine that you should need. So I'll go through that specifically in another segment for you. But that is the genetically congruent movement patterns. Now, you don't need to be doing all of that tomorrow. You don't need to be doing all of that next week. But even if you're starting to do little bits of that. And one thing that's really important to understand, there's always an entry point. For you, if right now the idea of walking 30 minutes actually makes your heart rate go up before you even start to move because it seems too hard, then you do what you can. Because I promise you, if you just do what you can and you start ticking these boxes in whatever small way that you can, your body will get stronger and your body will get healthier and it will be capable of more and more, because you have the same genetic potential for health that I do, and I totally believe in your body's ability to make you well. Awesome. Now, that exercise sheet is for you to, you can please feel free to copy it out, have a copy at work, have a copy on your fridge at home. You can do it as a family, but that is that information. We're all genetically the same as humans. It's the same exercise prescription for all human beings to express health. Now, what we're going to do today is we're going to do a fantastic little power stretching routine. One of the things I hear people say very often is that they're constantly stretching tight muscles. And the fact of the matter is if you're moving regularly, so if you're ticking the exercise box that you're moving for 30 minutes most days, and you're getting adjusted, then this little exercise, this little stretching routine that I'm going to show you, it fits anywhere in life, and you will find even in 2 weeks a profound difference in the flexibility, in the freedom of movement that you have, in reduction of stiffness, and that you have an increase. You'll be amazed at the difference in your comfort levels. Just by your body starting to move the way it's supposed to. So again, the answers to health, we need to look at what our body's designed for. Okay, so our spine and all the muscles that support our spine, they're meant to move in 3 directions only. So we as human beings, our spine goes forward and back, and it turns, and it turns, and it tilts, and it tilts. And that's the only planes of movement that our spine is supposed to go through. So our neck goes through that, our thoracic spine goes through that, and our lumbar spine. And then our pelvis moves with our lumbar spine. So when you take your body, when you take your spine through its full range of motion every single day, the first thing that it does neurologically is it stimulates your brain in all the ways that it's supposed to be stimulated. And remember, movement is a nutrient for your brain. So it's giving your brain all kinds of nutrients when you do that. And what that means is your body is going to be switched on, and it's going to be firing health all day long. So this little stretching routine is awesome to do first thing in the morning, but you can do it any time of day. You can do it when you're at work and you need a break from sitting in that compressed posture, spine deformation position. So the secret to this stretching routine, and if you do this every day, I promise you the need to do all those, I could give you 100 stretches to do. The need to do those will go away if you're just moving and your spine is getting healthy and you're doing this exercise most days. We don't have to be perfect, we don't have to do it every day, but once you start doing it, you won't want to give it up because it really does make such a difference. So the secret to this exercise, there's 2 things that are most important for this stretch. One is that you hold each position. So you have to hold it for 10 seconds. So I say 10 to 30, but honestly 10 is enough to make a profound difference. And the second thing is that you have to repeat it. Okay, so what you would do, so I'm just going to stand to the side. So when we're going through the range of motion, we would bend forward. Now maintain your good shoulder posture as you do it. So we bend forward as far as you comfortably can. You should not be in pain or discomfort while you're doing it. Just go through your comfortable range of motion, and you hold this position for 10 seconds. And then what you do is you look up and you hold this position for 10 seconds. Now when I do this, if you stop and think about how rarely in a day do we actually, when was the last time you actually looked up at the sky for 10 seconds? Any time in your day. Most human beings today, they spend their whole day like this, and we look down, we bend down to the ground, but that's about all that we do. So this is taking your spine and all the muscles around it and your neurology through its full range of motion. So this is going to help you to feel better, and it's going to keep your joints moving. And when we move our joints, that's where you're going to get better function. You know that saying, if you don't use it, you'll lose it? And it's true. The reason we get so stiff and sore and tight is because we don't do this every day anymore. And 10,000 years ago, we would have. So I'll repeat it again. You hold for 10. And you hold for 10. And you repeat it twice. And you hold for 10. And as I said, don't force it. If you do it every day, you'll find you'll get further and further along. You're going through the full range of motion. You're holding for 10. You go the opposite direction, you hold for 10. And you repeat that 3 times in total. And that's where it makes that, this is what power stretching is. And that's where you'll see a huge difference. Then what you want to do is you repeat that for each of the range of motion. So you'd go this way and you'd hold for 10. You would go this way and hold for 10. Repeat that twice. Tilt. Hold for 10. Make sure you're always maintaining good posture as you do it. And tilt and hold for 10. And repeat. When we're doing tilting and turning for our lumbar spine, what you want to do. It's the same thing. You're going to have your feet nice and wide apart for all of these exercises. That creates good balance. And we're bending all the way down and holding for 10. And bending all the way back and hold for 10. Now, if you find to start that that's uncomfortable to do, that's okay. Do what you can. Do the range of motions that you can. Even if all you can do is go back like this, then that's better than not. Because if you start moving it and you keep moving it, you will get stronger and stronger and you will get a better and better range of motion. And that's where your body is going to be awesome when you're 40 and when you're 50 and when you're 60 and when you're 70 and 80 and 90. And that you can be an active, healthy human being. So that's the bending forward, bending back. You would then rotate and rotate and hold. For this, you plant your feet when you're doing that. And then the tilt, again, maintaining good posture. Don't bend forward. Tilt to the side and hold. Tilt to the side and hold, but always holding for 10 and repeating it 3 times. And that's the only stretching routine that you should need. And if you're doing that, if you commit to doing that just for 2 weeks, you'll be amazed at the difference in your body starting to feel like it's supposed to. That concludes this healthy living session. I look forward to catching up with you next time. And until then, remember, the choices that you make today will determine your health tomorrow. Choose a better you today. You deserve it.